I want to pivot now to the historic prisoner swap that we saw last week. And of course, you have been deeply involved in these kinds of negotiations and know them very well. Huge for its size. I mean, 24 people exchanged from multiple countries. Of course, notably, a number of American journalists were freed in that. I want to go first to an audience question here from Henry in Illinois, because it really gets at sort of one of the things that's central to this particular deal. He notes that one commentator said he thought that Vladimir Putin got just what he wanted out of this prisoner exchange. His number one ace assassin, there he's referring to this man, Vadim Karamazov, who was this assassin that was free, Krasakov, sorry, who was held in Germany. And who was a kind of linchpin to this prisoner exchange. I'm curious if you agree that Putin got exactly what he wants, and the reader wants to know, could that come back to haunt the United States?
All of these trades are very tough. And I certainly understand when people say, how could we do such a thing? How could we take a murderer like Reznikov and working with Germany, Chancellor Scholz made a very courageous decision. Working with Slovenia and Norway and Poland, and of course, negotiating with the Russians. How could we do these kind of things? But we do have a responsibility to bring Americans home. And I think that this trade was an appropriate one, although a very difficult one for all of the leaders to make. And in fact, some of these countries got nothing in return. They freed Russian prisoners and got nothing back, which says something about the incredible work that President Biden, Vice President Harris have done to create these friendships, these alliances, these partners who are willing to do something with us and for us without necessarily getting anything in return. So this is very tough. Now, one thing that I will say to the questioner, we're trying to do everything we can to create a norm that people shouldn't do these kind of things. And one of the things that happened when I was deputy is we created a new designation on travel advisories, a de-designation, not for deputy secretary, but for detainees. And countries that have a de-designation means you may get taken. So please do not travel to that country because you're putting yourself at risk. Because individual Americans have a responsibility too, not to go places where they may be picked up, where we have to then find a way to get them returned home. These are very tough, and it takes a whole of government response, whole of the world response to make these deals. We had all of these countries who had to work together all at the same time. Sorry, I'm sort of juggling here. All at the same time to get everybody home. The logistics of doing this is very difficult.